Okay, so welcome back to this video where we are going to do an even deeper analysis of the data that we have. So we first did a regression model with only the grade and the hours per study because that was important. But also in the lectures, I told you that in quantitative research, it matters to have control variables to control for other things that are not only what matters to you, what matters in your hypothesis. So here, what I am going to do is to do a regression with more than only two variables. I am going to go again to regression, linear, and now instead of only adding hours per study, I will add more variables, actually all the variables. So I will add if the person studies in a group or not, if the person works, if the person is male or female, and I won't add a student number ID because it doesn't explain anything, right? It's just a number. It doesn't mean anything. It's like name, right? Like it will be really weird. Like if you are number 7, you have a better grade. It doesn't make sense, right? So that's why I am not including it, but I am including all the other variables. And I consider them as control variables because my initial assumption is that the grade, it is explained by the hours of study per week. That is my hypothesis. My alternative hypothesis is that hours, if you study more, you get a better grade. That's basically my alternative hypothesis, right? Also, hypothesis comes from lectures. So let's click OK. As you can see, the only thing that I did was that I added the other 3 variables and then I click OK. So first thing that I want to show you, usually when you add more variables, more control variables, usually or hopefully what happens is that your model becomes even better. And that is what happens in here. If you remember, our previous model had an R square of 0.990. And the new one has 0.995. So from incredibly fantastic to super awesome, incredibly godly fantastic. So again, super unreal, but we improved the model by adding more controls. That's why adding controls is important, because it helps to strengthen your model. And then, so this is a tick. Okay, we improved the model. That's nice. And then the next thing is that we are also going to check the significance of the variables that we added. And what matters the most is this, because this is the hypothesis that we want to test. You remember I told you that the alternative hypothesis is that more hours of study increases your grade. So then this tells me that, this confirms that we have 99.99% of confidence to say that 1 more hour of a study increases our grade by around 2. So that's nice. And we are also kind of lucky because there is another variable that is significant. This one, studying group. It seems that if you study in a group, it's significant that you will increase your grade. So kind of a nice finding from there, but maybe not the objective of our research, because that's why in the research philosophy lecture, I talk a lot about what is your objective and what is your research question and what's your hypothesis, because that's what matters. This is just like an extra finding because it is considered a control variable. Maybe you can conclude in there that it is worth examining this later on. You need to also unpack a little bit from the literature, what does it say about studying group. But for your study, what matters is this. But in the end, you report your that this control variable is also significant. And then you have work and mail, and these ones don't really matter that much because they are not even significant. So you can't build any conclusion from this. Like it seems like if you're a male, you get a lower grade, but it's not significant. So this is also in line with what we found from the t-test that we did previously. Like there is actually a less average for grade for men, but it's not significant. We found it from here, right? It's not statistically significant. It's not explained by gender, although there is something in there. It's not, we can't conclude it because it's not statistically significant. This is the same in here. It seems that If you are a male, you have a lower grade, but it's not significant. So you can't build any conclusion from that. So as maybe some people will say, why will I include controls even if they are not significant? Well, because it improved the model. Here it improved from, as I said, 0.99 to 0.995. That's crazy. But sometimes in real life, if you are like in 0.5 and then you add controls and you end up with 0.7, that's really good. So that's why controls are important. So this is the end of the analysis, the regression analysis. The last thing that I want to show you is how to do a correlations table, because probably that's something that you can also do when you are doing this kind of analysis, and maybe even before the regression. So see you in the next bit.